A lot of people think of punk and they think of like white dudes and stuff, but there have always been like women in it and queer people and people of color. That community is also something really cool about punk.
People are starting to realize the power of female-fronted or female bands, or like realizing like you need that energy just as much as you need like the male energy.
It's absolutely about declaring yourself and doing it, not asking for permission from anybody. You need nobody's approval to do what grew out of your heart. And I think women are seriously better at that than men, and maybe that is the punkness of being a woman.
I am Exene Cervenka, mostly known for the band X.
Patty Schemmel. I played drums in Hole.
Coincidentally, when I came to California, punk was just starting here. I was young and it was fun, and it was more fun than anything you could ever imagine.
Punk rock, it's an attitude and sort of a behavior. It is a music, but it's also a lot more than that.
Backstage Pass was around early on. They were one of the first bands. They had their own look and their own thing, and they were an all-girl band, which was really odd.
Here we are at the Whiskey.
Can you believe it?
No. Feels good, actually.
I haven't played here since 1977. One of our first shows was at the Whiskey, opening for Elvis Costello. It was November 1977.
I'm Ellie, I play drums.
My name is Sade and I play guitar and sing.
My name is Irita and I play bass. We're LA Witch.
The word witch to us was like a cool way to hint that it was our feminine type like energy.
Bands that I was around, they were like not cool with a girl playing electric guitar, you know? I just really wanted to be in a band. I didn't want to be told what to do or how to do it. And then, unfortunately, my mother died when I was 17, and I ended up running away to Hollywood, basically. One night, I ended up at the Starwood for a Dr. Feelgood show. That's where I met all of you, my future bandmates.
It was kind of a vacuum in LA back then, where artists could do anything they wanted. No one was watching, no one was listening, no one was recording. There was fanzines, there was college radio, there was each other, but the world didn't care.
That was great. When we started playing, you just learn a few chords and you can play whatever. You can learn a song really easily.
What I liked about punk rock is that it was so tangible, especially, you know, me being a teenager. It was like something that I felt that I could do and that I could relate to.
When I started to play drums, I noticed drums were something that I didn't see a lot of girls doing, and it was a good release. It helped me like take that awkwardness in my body and put it into something and release it and then make art with it.
You can kind of write whatever and you can call it punk because it's like do it yourself, do whatever feels right to you.
Just doing it with your friends, going for it, and having a blast.
I learned a lot about politics from punk rock. What is Ian McKay talking about here? He's always talking about this.
I look at like the Lindas out there.
Yeah.
You know, how I see them like expressing what they care about in the world and allowing themselves to open their hearts and put it out there out loud.
I'm Lucia, I'm 14 and I play guitar.
I'm Mila, I'm 10 and I play drums.
I'm Eloise, I'm 13 and I play bass.
I'm Bella and I'm 16 and I play guitar.
We're the Linda Lindas!
Someone from school told me that their dad, because of the virus, told him to stay away from Chinese people. So I got a little bit upset about that, and Eloise and I wrote a song about it, and we called it Racist Sexist Boy.
Music is something where you can take that aggression or tell your story, you know, and other people can hear it and relate to it.
I think it was important to also inspire other people to not respond in a violent way and to make it into something beautiful, like art.
A band like the Linda Lindas, like, they probably know more about what's going on in our world than maybe we did when we were younger. And so, of course, like, at that age, like, you're gonna be very angry and you're gonna do something about it.
Instead of a gimmick of girls singing a song about lipstick, it's cool to hear some really, serious things come out of the mouths of our next generation.
Punk has always been about justice.
Being political and speak about issues that are happening everywhere. Now that racism is becoming so much more apparent, it's time for people to get angry again.
I would do my face. This was blank for the masculine side, and then I'd have makeup on that side. That was me making a statement that I don't care if I'm a male or a female. I'm going to play electric guitar and I'm going to be in a band.
It was a very non-binary statement for 1977.
Yeah, right. What drew me to punk music, before I even heard it, it was seeing the imagery of it. I bought the X CD not knowing what it sounded like. That image of that X on fire was just so powerful to me. I took it home and was just blown away by it. And then I heard that it was a girl singing on it too. It was just so cool and rebellious and fast and aggressive, but also melodic and poetic.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High, there's this scene where there's a Pat Benatar lookalike in every single situation, and that's kind of a running joke. But in my scene in Seattle, there was an X-zine. In every party, there's an X-zine. They took your style and look, you created it, but it also became sort of like a thread of style everywhere,
Interesting.
We opened up for Bikini Kill at the Hollywood Palladium in April of 2019.
We walked into the green room and we saw a door with our name on it.
It wasn't green.
It's not green, by the way.
We expected all the walls to be green, but they
not.
weren't green. That kind of scared us.
Way back in the day when we first started doing this, we clearly inspired a bunch of other bands who came to see us and said, wow, they kind of grew out of nowhere. Maybe I can do this too. The Go-Go's came and checked us out when they were first getting it together, or the Germs were hanging around. A lot of other bands.
What you look up to in women isn't how pretty they are, how great they can sing necessarily. It's more about their fortitude and their strength of character, like in any other human being. How successful are they without hurting people? Those are the women I look up to mostly.
Our generation grew up with so many cool females.
Well, my first show was No Doubt, and I loved Hole. That was one of my first CDs.
Here's that first whole single, and it's,
Little girl with candy.
that was our shtick.
PJ Harvey, Brody Dale.
So I feel for us, it wasn't weird to see females in music.
Yeah, and then you have the previous generation, Exene.
I didn't idolize anybody. I've never idolized anybody in my life. I like people or I don't like people. Exception, number one, Debbie Harry. She's the greatest in every way.
L7.
Patricia Morrison, who's in the Bags.
Frank and Alice Bagg and Kathleen Hanna, because they not only make really cool music, but they sing about important stuff.
Chrissy Hines is super cool. Pat Benatar, all the classics.
The other kind of more modern person like that is Shirley Manson. She will give anybody a leg up in this world, especially people that she feels are not appreciated and need that encouragement. She encourages people probably 24 hours a day.
There was a lot of sexism in the music business, especially the bigger labels and that kind of thing. Being told, your body's not like this or like that.
We've definitely been through a lot. We had a sound guy who turned off our sound completely while we were playing because he...
Out of spite.
Yeah, and it's just would you do that to a band with dudes in it?
A lot of boys at school, they say really sexist stuff, and it's really sad that from kindergarten we're taught to be sexist at such a young age.
Thank you guys for being here. This is our first house show in like 2 years. We definitely played some East LA backyard shows when we first started.
People would be like selling beer, like in the corner.
Back in the punk days, you played wherever anyone tell you to show up. The East LA backyard shows were kind of famous. The grandma was there, everybody was making food, and it was just super fun.
It's such a big part of like LA's like music history, you know. So thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
This first song is called I Wanna Lose.
Ellie Witch, they played at Desert Days, and I went to see them. And Ellie, their drummer, looked over and she was like, and I was like, they're great. I love that band.
It's actually kind of one of our favorite things to do is actually play house show because the energy is completely different.
Very like stripped down and raw.
Whether you carry on with the message of the punk rock thing is what makes you punk rock, not so much the music.
Just be punk rock about it. That's what I say, you know? Like my daughter's like, oh, I don't want to wear these because I don't want to get these shoes dirty. And I'm like, just be punk rock about it.
That was good. That was awesome.